Hello and good evening. This is Hassan Zafar. English is not just a language. Last summer, I stopped at a roadside eatery in Barkat Market of Lahore. A young man and a young lady, both in their early 20s, were embroiled in an argument about the importance of English. As I placed my order, I overheard their spirited conversation. The young lady was endeavoring to persuade the young man about the significance of learning English while he dissented. I decided to intervene. I invited them to join my table, an invitation they accepted. I explained that I had overheard their discussion on the importance of English and wished to elucidate its meaning and significance. Contrary to the prevailing argument in this country that English doesn't reflect one's intellectual ability and knowledge, I endeavored to explain that the quality of language, not just English, reflects the socio-cultural background and association of an individual. The accent one speaks and the intonation convey the background of the person. I recall the British actor Rowan Atkinson, known as Mr. Bean, mentioning in one of his interviews that when he was selected for a TV show to play a character from the south of England, he had to work on his accent. Coming from the north, Consett in the Durham district of Scotland, his intonation was quite different from what the character demanded. The south of England is home to the upper middle class with a much more refined and posh accent. As for the notion that English doesn't determine one's intellectual ability and knowledge, it is also arguable because a significant number of publications on a range of subjects are mostly in English, which has certainly acquired the status of an international language. This young man, however, remained adamant in his disagreement. He argued that his family, which according to him hailed from a remote district of Balochistan province, was very well off, and none of them had proper schooling, let alone the ability to read or speak English of any quality at all. Their business success did not owe anything to knowing or unknowing English. This argument reminded me of many people from the business community in Lahore when I was growing up, and I recalled how deprived they felt over the years, despite their business successes, for not having better education or knowing proper English. Their feelings are hard to hide in social gatherings, where, despite their business successes, they find themselves standing outside of any learned conversations. This is not merely the case with the English language alone. Urdu developed in the north of India during the rule of the Mughal emperors, who patronized Urdu poets and musicians alike. Over the centuries, a significant investment was made from the royal exchequer in this regard, which helped the Urdu language flourish and refine. The result was the emergence of poets like Mir Taqi Mir and Asadullah Khan Ghalib during the 18th century. The North Indian accent came to be regarded as the standard Urdu accent, and those existing closer to the royal court were recognizable by the quality of Urdu they spoke. Therefore, Urdu was not just a language. It represented one's socio-cultural associations. It determined one's status. The same is true of any language, and so it is with English. The quality of English one speaks determines one's cultural background and social status. I tried to convey this point to that young man. The quality of language you speak, your accent, serves as a passport to many circles. Remember the British comedy show, Mind Your Language, from the 1980s? In that show, people from different cultural backgrounds come together in the English language class of Mr. Brown, an Oxford graduate Englishman. The humor is generated through the accents and the mispronounced words they speak in the class. During the 1980s, when Britain experienced a huge inflow of immigrants, their accents became a target of social rebuke. On British television, Such comedy shows came to be termed as trial by accent, at the cost of the foreigners on the British soil who didn't speak the words exactly as the local people did. Have we in Pakistan not experienced the same thing? People who speak Urdu or even Punjabi words differently sometimes face grins or even corrections. Given that one learns the language from their surroundings, one adopts the kind of language spoken around them. The world comprises circles: family, neighborhoods, schools, universities. These institutions are not solely meant for acquiring knowledge. They represent one's socio-cultural associations. Within these circles, one's social and political identity is forged. Therefore, being an enrolled student in a top university makes a difference. You are then regarded as a member of their group, that circle, that culture. This will have an impact on how you speak, how you dress, and what kind of people you can access. In all of this, the quality of the language you speak will play a pivotal role. It may be politically problematic to say, but the truth of the matter is that this world is structured around these circles, and every circle is recognizable by its language. In Pakistan and in India, with a colonial history, English does have an elitist status, the status that Urdu once enjoyed during the Mughal rule in the Indian subcontinent. Thank you very much for watching.